Hello the internet, hope you're all well, thanks for stopping by. Today I am looking at, well, I would normally lift it up to the camera, the product I'm reviewing, but this one's really rather quite sizable, so it's this, the Dreo Smart Dehumidifier 512S. I've had this now for 3 or 4 months, and it's only really in the last couple of weeks it started to come into its own. The weather is really dropping down temperature wise, and I actually keep it out in my I've got a shed at the bottom end of my garden, a Kita artisan shed, which some of you may be familiar on my other videos. It's where I keep my sim rig, and I've got a lot of electrical equipment in there, and when the temperature drops down and then you heat it back up again with the I've got also a Dreo Smart whole room heater. When I bring the temperature back up there, you tend to get a bit of condensation, and this smart dehumidifier is fantastic for managing those humid conditions. But we did have call to bring it into action inside the house a couple of weeks ago. We had a new sofa bed delivered into my wife's studio next door. When we took the old sofa bed away, we noticed that the wallpaper had come away quite dramatically from a small area, localised to where an external chimney breast used to be. And it's clearly a bit of a damp issue there. And I thought I'll bring in the smart dehumidifier, turned it on, and about 6 hours later I turfed out about 2 litres of water from it. I couldn't believe there was that much moisture in the air, but it certainly proved its worth. Now, I realise I need to address that issue, and that's something to be aware of. If you're buying a dehumidifier, you're doing it for a reason. Maybe you've got some mould, there is humid conditions. If it's specifically for mould, you've got an issue that needs addressing, and this is just a sticking plaster. You will need to address that ultimately with whatever methods to remediate that issue. But this will help you get over that problem until you can get around to doing those works. And for that purpose, for what I used it in there, it was brilliant. I was so impressed. See, I normally just have it on auto mode. This is where you turn it on, you set a upper limit where you don't want the humidity level to go above. When it reaches that level, the dehumidifier will turn itself on and it will run until those humidity levels drop down below that level. And it works really quite well, so it doesn't use a great deal of power. It's only on when it absolutely needs to be. But you can put it into continuous mode, so it'll be on either low, medium or high fan speed, and it will just keep sucking the moisture out. So if you've got a pretty serious problem, then it will manage that. It won't remedy it, but it will manage that situation. But if you've just got a temporary issue where the humidity is getting high and you just want to manage those levels, the auto mode works really quite well on this. Now, the reason behind doing this video now after 3 months of use is because I've just finished work and I've noticed that it's Friday the 21st of November. It's on a Black Friday deal at the moment, and it's currently on there at £179.99. The RRP is £229.99, so that's a £50 saving, certainly for the silver one. Now, there's a silver and a black one. The only difference is that they're all completely white except they've got a black or a silver strip. The silver strip one is £179.99, the black strip one is £195.49. No difference except that colour, so if you want to save a bit of money, go for the silver one. That's what I've got. So that's a £50 saving on what is quite an expensive device. So if you are considering it, I just wanted to share my feelings on it because I have been really impressed with these few months I've had it for. Now, why did I go with the Dreo specifically? Well, I wanted a smart dehumidifier. There's loads of dehumidifiers on there, but Dreo kind of stood out for me because they do a range of smart devices. I already have a couple of Dreo smart heaters. I had a little one to start with, but I then upgraded it to a much larger one, which is absolutely superb. And if you want to see that, I did a review of that a couple of days ago, so check it out up there. Because my shed is right down the bottom end of the garden and there's a number of locks on it, it's a bit of a faff if I just want to quickly switch on the dehumidifier or the heater. So I wanted something I could connect to remotely, and because these are smart products, they connect either to Alexa or to Google, whichever your smart device of choice is, and it works well. So when you first set it up, you install the Dreo app, which is available on Android and iOS, and then once it's finished setting up, Alexa will automatically detect it and bring it into its ecosystem. Give it a name, give it a room that it's in, and then you can remotely connect to it from wherever you are, and it works absolutely spot on. Turn off the dehumidifier. So on its own, the dehumidifier is an excellent product. It comes into its own as a smart device with the app and the compatibility with Alexa or Google smart homes. It becomes a different device entirely. The fact that I can operate it remotely is an absolute joy to me. It really is useful. It's obviously relatively economical. You don't want it running all the time, so it's got this auto mode, and that's worked perfectly fine while I've been using it. It's got a capacity of 20 litres per day, which is an awful lot when you think about it. The tank, the reservoir on it's nothing like that. You'd have to keep emptying it out repeatedly. It does have an auto cut-off, so when the water level gets to a certain point, a sender tells it to shut it off. But you can either tip it out manually, or you can use this. It comes with a hose which you insert into the back of the device, and then you can decant it into a secondary reservoir or into a drain, or however. Obviously the dehumidifier's got to be at a higher level for that to operate, so you need to put a bit of thought into how you're going to do that. But it's a nice option to have. Otherwise, if you've only got a minor humidity issue, then having it just fill up the reservoir, that should work perfectly well for you anyway. It comes with a very good manual. It's a rarity in this day and age, but this is a multiple page document, all in English, and it's got all the information you could possibly need, troubleshooting guide, it's got the QR code to download the apps from. Everything you need is in there, but you also get this information card, which has got a quick start installation of it, and some more troubleshooting and indication of what all the buttons and displays mean to you. It has been a very impressive device. It's an expensive device for what is a relatively niche targeted reason for having it, but if you have a reason for having it, it is a very good product. Would I buy it again, which is always my litmus test? Would I buy this product again? Yes, I would, because it has been that good. It is a lot of money, so now is really the time to be looking at it. Go over to Amazon. I'm not an affiliate. I get nothing for this review whatsoever. These are entirely my opinions of it. So I'll put a link in the description below. But if you do click it, I get nothing for it. So it's entirely up to you whether you buy it or not. I get nothing for it. So if you're after a smart dehumidifier for your home, as someone who's owned one for the last 3 months, I can heartily recommend it. It's a lot of money, yes, but if you need one, you can do a lot worse than that. Hope you found this video useful, and if you have, do perhaps consider a like, a comment, and maybe even a subscribe to the channel, because it really does help me out. I shall see you on the next video. Take it easy.